What's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. So I'm Derek from Simnett Nutrition, and today I'm out here in the forest. Well, I'm getting out here because being out here in nature is one of the things that makes me feel my best. And this video is all about feeling good. So let's get into the forest and talk about what makes me so positive all the time. All right, so I'm here. I want to go that way. That's enough for me. I feel better already. It's so nice out here. So I don't know if you guys live somewhere where you get like 4 seasons, but autumn is so beautiful. And all the leaves start to change color, fall off the trees. It is absolutely incredible. So a common comment or question that I get is, Derek, how do you stay so positive all the time? So not only do I get it in my DMs, you know, I get it in comments on my YouTube videos, and also like people just in my life are always saying, man, you always look at the bright side of things, you're always looking up, you're always so positive. How do you do it? So obviously it's not one thing that I do. It's not just like, oh, I eat this certain food, or I take this supplement, or oh, I just go out into the forest. No, there's a whole bunch of things, and it definitely takes effort. And it's important to remember that I am not so positive all the time. We have to remember that social media is like a highlight reel of our lives. And as much as I try and be like authentic and show you guys, you know, exactly how I live, of course, I only show you the parts that are positive and good. You know, I'm not showing you when I'm down in the dumps or when I try and film a video and it doesn't work out and I'm stressed and crying in the corner. You know, I don't show you those times. So of course it looks like I'm more positive than I am, but I think compared to many people, at least the people that I meet, I do seem like I have a higher base level of happiness than a lot of people. So let's get into the forest here and talk about these 5 habits that I use to keep me so happy and positive all the time. Almost. All right, so I have some notes for this one because I didn't want to just like ramble on off the top of my head, and I wanted to keep it like somewhat focused. So the first point, or the first habit that helps me to stay positive and, you know, upbeat and happy and all this, is to be mindful of what I consume. And I'm not talking about food in this situation. Of course, that is a big part of it. That's very important, and I will talk about it a little later in this video. But what I'm talking about is what we feed our mind with. The stuff that we see on TV, the stuff that we're taking in on social media, maybe the video games that we're playing, the music we're listening to, maybe adult content that we're taking in. These are all things that, whether we want to or we want it to or not, are going to have effect on our mood and how we feel. So really pay attention to how these things make you feel inside, and not in like a gratifying sort of way in the moment, because lots of things make you feel good right at that very moment, but aren't necessarily going to be good for you, you know, afterwards or in the long run. So just pay attention to how this stuff makes you feel. Does it leave you feeling positive, motivated, inspired? Does it make you want to get out there and help others? Or does it have the opposite effect? So one thing, especially with like social media, that we have to be mindful of is this, what I call like a consumption spiral. Some people call it doom scrolling, but basically like what can happen, and I'm sure you guys feel this as well, is, you know, as you're scrolling through, you'll see things that you don't agree with, or somebody that has a different opinion of you, or like some scary news or whatever, and you get into this like crazy spiral where you just, I don't know, at least for me, I have trouble stopping, and I have to recognize it, and I have to be like, whoa, Derek, just chill out, slow down, you're doing something here, and it's not helping you, it's not benefiting you in life. And of course, it's important to know what your friends are doing on social media and to, you know, check out the news to see what's going on in the world. However, I don't think we have to consume as much as we do. So try and consume less of what doesn't make you feel good, what doesn't serve you or inspire you, and consume more of what does make you feel good. And I know it seems so simple, but actively do it, and things will start changing in your brain, and you will have a different experience online or on the TV or on Netflix, whatever it is, and you will be happier for it. So something that I do that helps me is that I try and have at least when I notice that I'm getting into these patterns, is I try and have a consumption to creation balance. Try to keep that ratio close to 1 to 1. So if I notice I'm sitting there mindlessly scrolling for 5-10 minutes or whatever, then I will create something for 5 or 10 minutes. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm creating social media content or a post. It can be that, and often is, or it's ideas for videos or something like that. But a lot of the time it'll be like creating something else, creating something that's a passion or a hobby of mine. Also, don't hesitate to take breaks, to take a little break from social media. That's okay. A lot of the time I love sharing my life. I love making these videos. I love making stories every day, sharing my meals and my recipes and my activities and stuff like that, but there definitely comes a time where that takes more effort than I feel like it should. And when those times happen, I just kind of come back a little bit from it and I just don't post as much, really. But I also don't consume as much on there, and I just try and get away from it and get out and create memories in life like I'm doing here. So habit number 2 that helps me to stay positive is getting out into nature and really getting out into it and taking it in. Not just going out, standing in a park being like, all right, take a couple pictures, post on social media, get out of there. No, like get into the forest, immerse yourself in it, slow down, listen to the sounds around you, the smell the smells. You're not gonna listen to the smells. And just take a moment to slow down to the speed of the forest. Everything's always moving so fast these days that sometimes it takes us to get out here, immerse ourselves in this, to just slow down and be calm. So have any of you guys heard of the term forest bathing? So this is a phrase that actually came out of Japan in the 80s, and it was basically because they realized that technology was becoming such a big part of life that they wanted a way to balance this by taking in the atmosphere of the forest. And I just love that idea. I think that is so cool. I love the term forest bathing because that's exactly what I think about. Well, not exactly, but that's kind of what I think about when I come out here. I don't just think like, all right, just come out to the forest and just hopefully it'll like do its work and make me feel better. No, it's like come out here and take it in. Just bathe in all of this beauty that we have access to. So, you know, the smells, the sounds, the birds and everything. So it's wonderful. I love just thinking about it. And one of the most powerful things is coming out into the forest and then just sitting for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes and listen to the forest come alive around you. It's amazing. Like when you're walking around and you're talking like I am now, all the wildlife and everything is quiet and it's you know, it's either hidden away or it's flown or whatever. But when you just like sit and relax and take it in, it comes alive, and definitely helps to revive and revitalize me, and I'm sure it'll help you as well. So I know it sounds pretty hippy dippy, but it's actually been shown that places like forests, especially near waterfalls or flowing water, also like the beach, are areas that are known to have high concentrations of negative ions. And negative ions have actually been shown to, amongst other things, improve our mood. And on top of that, there's also been science showing that people that have a greater connection with nature are happier in general. So that should be more than enough info for you guys to get out there and enjoy the nature. Hey, buddy. So peaceful. So that screaming dinosaur sound was actually a couple kids on bikes. So can't get mad at them. They're out here in the forest, having fun, taking in the negative ions, even though they probably don't know it. They were feeling good, having a good time, and they were exercising. And that is my habit number 3, exercise. So I know that this seems very difficult if you're not in a good headspace to just like get out there and exercise, but it should encourage you knowing that exercise releases feel-good endorphins and also serotonin, which is the feel-good chemical. So right away, it's going to make you feel better. Not even talking about the health benefits from it that are gonna come. It is going to make you feel better in that moment. So I know it's the hardest thing is when you're not feeling good to be like, okay, I'm gonna go out there and exercise. And know that that is the hardest part about it, is getting out the door. I always say that. The hardest part is lacing up the shoes and getting out the door. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. If you can get out into nature and exercise, you're going to get so many more benefits, as we just learned. I know that many of you live in the Northern Hemisphere, like me, and we are definitely coming upon fall and winter here, and it makes it so much harder to get outside and exercise, but it is so worth it. And if you need to buy like good rain gear, a good jacket, or need to buy new running shoes or whatever, do what you need to do in order to stay active. It is so important for long-term health, but also your short-term well-being. So do what you can to get out there, and if you're worried about it or you don't know how to start, there really isn't much to it other than just starting. You know what, I actually like this spot. I'm gonna stay here. I was gonna try and move to a different location for each point, but the sun's going down. It's nice and bright right here, nice and calm. So I'm gonna stay. So number 4, having hobbies and passions. So this is a huge one for me, and I think it should be for everybody else as well. So I find we get so caught up in the grind, in progress, in being time efficient, that a lot of the time we forget to take time for ourselves and do things that we love. Think about doing things that will spark creativity and passion and enjoyment that are outside of, just mindlessly consuming, right? So that's often things like art, it could be photography or video. For me, one of the things that I've been interested in lately, which I think is so cool, is the world of RC, radio controlled cars. It does bring me so much joy, and the cool thing about this is that I can bring in so many other passions, hobbies, and skills into this one hobby that I already love, that it's just like exploded like my joy for all of these. So let me explain to you guys what I mean. So with these RC cars, I like to research before I buy one, make sure that I'm getting one that's really good, and then I get it, I try it out, and then I take it apart, I modify it, I might buy some extra parts for it, maybe make some extra parts from things, laying around the house, whatever, just get creative. And then I go outside into the forest, into nature. See, this is getting me outside, and then I drive it around, and sometimes I'll even take video or pictures of it. And it's just like combining so many of my hobbies and passions and things that I love into one another. And you can see like how much I'm smiling about it right now. And it's such a silly thing. It's like, when I'm out in the forest, sometimes driving it around and I see these adults walk by me, and I'm just this like, bearded man playing with this like mini radio controlled car in the forest. I think to myself like, man, they must think I'm absolutely crazy. But here I am, just living my best life, having the best time ever. So that's just one of my hobbies, but I do have many. Something I just created recently was a cat tree. And I know a lot of people probably think like, oh, Derek, why don't you just go and like buy a cat tree? It's probably easier, would save you time, whatever. But I love having the vision. I love gathering up the materials that I'll need to fulfill the vision, and then, slowly chipping away at it. And it just brought me so much joy. And every time I look at the cat tree, I'm like, man, I just made that, and that was incredible. So yeah, I don't know, whatever that means to you guys, just try and find some hobbies. So number 5, that I have to bring up nutrition. Good whole plant foods. I know that I feel my best when my nutrition, when my diet, whatever you want to call it, is dialed. When I'm not eating overly processed foods, when I'm not eating too much sugar, when I am eating fiber-rich, whole plant foods the way that Mother Nature intended for us to consume them. So I know this seems so obvious. It's like, yeah, Derek, eat good, feel good. I know that. But no, like this is so important. And so many people don't realize what it actually feels like to feel good, because we're just eating so much processed crap, so much fast food. People are so tired. I mean, sleep is another one. I think that's obvious that we should all be getting good sleep in order to feel good. That people just don't know what it's like to feel 100%. And, you don't realize this until you eat a whole foods plant-based diet for a long period of time. Then you really start to realize how good you can feel. And then you start noticing when, you do start to incorporate more of these processed foods, how it does bring you down. And I definitely feel it. I don't wake up feeling as motivated. Things kind of irritate me a little bit more. I think, that's really important. And the more that you can understand this next point, the more that it will help you to stay on track. At least it does for me. So we've all heard of serotonin, right? It's the feel-good chemical. Makes us feel happy, stabilizes our mood. It actually converts to melatonin in the absence of light. So like at night, helps us fall asleep and stay asleep. So the more serotonin we have, the better. So it might come as a surprise to you guys, but our microbiome, the bacteria that's in our gut that is helping to digest our food, is actually what creates most of the serotonin that's in our body. And we know that fiber is fuel for our microbiome, so the more fiber-rich foods that we eat, the better our gut microbiome is going to be, the more serotonin it is going to create. It's amazing, I know. So I just want to tell you guys, eat well. It will make you feel better. So I was looking it up to see if there was any, specific nutrients or anything like that that could help with mood. And there definitely are some, but one of them is vitamin C. So vitamin C rich foods have been shown to improve your mood. So things like fruits, bell peppers, broccoli, cabbage. So while we're talking about individual nutrients, I must mention vitamin D. I definitely supplement vitamin D. And especially in the winter time, because we're not taking in as much sun, as you guys know. And even if you do get lots of sun in the winter, the sun is too low on the horizon to actually, you know, give you the amount of sun that you need in order to convert a necessary amount to vitamin D. So it's something that you should definitely look into supplementing. Although the science is somewhat inconclusive, there's definitely enough that nudges towards the fact that vitamin D status and good mood have a link. And if you are gonna get a D3 supplement and you wanna keep it 100% vegan, make sure it is vegan friendly. Most of the D3 supplements are sourced from lanolin, which is sheep's wool. Vivo Life does have a great D3. It's in the link below. It's not why I made this video. If you guys want one that's vegan friendly and with K2, check the link down below. And K2 is really good to have with D3 because it's great for our bone health. So what it does is it actually helps to take calcium out of the blood and drive it into the bones, muscles, tissues, wherever it needs to be. And then now I've just got like a few honorable mentions, and I didn't want to go over 5 because 5 is such a clickable number. And these are just kind of like tiny little points here or there. So yeah, we already talked about sleep. Obviously very, very important. Get to bed at a good time. But another major thing for me is when I wake up in the morning is to have a routine where I don't go on my phone or on social media right away. And I know it's so tempting to like check it out, see how many likes you got, see how your last posted, see what your favorite YouTuber, maybe me, is up to. Try and stay off of it for at least the first 15, 20 minutes of the day and just allow yourself that time to, you know, get your head into like a good headspace. So what I like to do is just, I stretch a little bit. I like to have a little bit of warm water. I look out the window at the birds. Now I play with the cat a little bit. And sometimes I'll sit and I will just meditate and, you know, just allow that to be my start to the day. And what I find with the routine is that you have this sort of checklist in your head. You're like, okay, yeah, I get up, I put my phone to the side, I don't check it. And then, you know, I have a little stretch, I have some water, I do a little meditation, and in your head, you're checking off all these boxes like, yo, I've already been productive. I've already done these things. I'm already starting the day off on a good foot. Look at you, Derek, so smart, so productive. And I haven't even done anything yet. So, you know, that sort of pattern at least really helps me. And also making lists. That's another one. I didn't have that one written down on my list. Look at that. Making lists, even if it's as simple as check your email. If you know you're going to check your email, you know, maybe even just write that down with a little box beside it, check email, and you check your email and you get to cross that off. It feels good. It sets that tone for the day of I'm being productive. I'm doing good things. I'm in a positive space. I am in control of this life. So that's definitely it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit different, but it's just, you know, some stuff that I wanted to get off my chest, and especially with like the dark, rainy months coming for many of us, I just wanted to, you know, get this out there thinking that maybe it will help some of you. You can adapt some of these habits into your lifestyle, or just recognize some of them that you're already doing and, you know, be proud of yourself for that. So if you made it this far in the video, definitely hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay passionate out there. Spread the good vibes. I love you guys. Like, subscribe, comment down below, all that good stuff. See you soon with another video.